Hey, it's Tower Thomas here with eXp Realty, and today we're going to discuss if Albany, Oregon is a good place to retire. We're going to discuss some of the things that might make it a good city to retire, some of the things that might not, as well as some of the things that there is to do in town. There's a lot of things to consider when deciding if a city is right for you to go ahead and retire in, so hopefully I can cover some of those points for you. So let's go ahead and get into it and see if Albany might be the right city for you. First thing we're going to discuss, kind of an important topic, and that is, does Oregon tax retirement income? Oregon does not tax Social Security benefits, but it does tax retirement account withdrawals. There's also some of the highest income tax rates. It's going to be 4.75 to 9.9%, which is going to be around 6th in the nation. I'm going to put a link in the description to NerdWallet where I found this kind of information. Now, Oregon does have one of those highest income tax rates, but when you retire, hopefully it won't affect you that much. And one of the things that kind of balances that out is that we do not have a sales tax. So in the grand scheme of things, it does kind of make Oregon a more tax-friendly state. Next up now, we're going to talk about things to do in Albany. So in our area, of course, we're going to have hunting, fishing. We're going to have Willamette River right there in town. Also, we're going to have mountainous terrain nearby. You've got a casino nearby about an hour away. You got Spirit Mountain. Also, there's another close casino on the coast in Lincoln City. We've got Lynn Benton Community College in town. You can go there for some of these sporting events as well as plays and other things that the college has to put on. Also down the way in Corvallis, you've got Oregon State University and all the sports and different activities that college has as well. People love sport in the college. They try to get out and go to pretty much every activity. It can definitely keep you busy throughout the year. In North Albany, you've got the Spring Hill Golf Club as well as the Albany Event Center. It's going to have a great golf course there. People will love that one. And you've also got another great option for golf right across the bridge with Golf Club of Oregon. That also is one. Tends to be a little more affordable, so people love going to both of those courses. I grew up going to both of those courses pretty much since I was a little kid, and they really are great courses. We've got some really good wineries in the area. A lot of them have a tasting room. You can go ahead, sip your wine, get a bite to eat, just hang out and enjoy the atmosphere. Right in town, you're going to have Spring Hill Cellars. Also, north of town, you're going to have Willamette Valley Vineyard, also Ankeny Vineyard. And we are just by Salem and a bunch of other options, so within this 30-45 minute drive up there, you're just going to have a ton of options. Breweries are also becoming really big in Albany, and a lot of places nearby. You got some local things kind of like Calapooya Brewing Company. You've also got things like Mazama Brewing, Deluxe Brewing, No Rails Ale House, as well as The Garage. And also gaining national notoriety is Two Town Cider House. So it's going to be two friends that made it from Albany as well as Corvallis. Those are the two towns that give it its name. We've even got some great distilleries, and there's things kind of around town, the surrounding areas, but I'm really going to leave this to things that are right here kind of in town. We've also got some good restaurants in town, so you don't have to go too far to find something that you're going to like. There's also plenty of concerts and things going on during the summer on the waterfront with our newly redone waterfront that's really nice. You've got River Rhythms. Different eateries and breweries also are going to have live music throughout the year, and also in the spring, you're going to have the Art and Air Festival, which is also going to bring some pretty big talent. Next thing we're going to discuss is if Albany has any beaches and mountains nearby. I definitely love the outdoors and getting out there and just exploring. And there's a lot of people around here that are just like me. And Oregon is a great place for beaches. It has 363 miles of coastline that is free to the public. And Albany is just about an hour and a half away from Newport, which is a great city on the coast. Highway 101 is right along the coast, and you can kind of just travel along there and find a lot of things to do, different cities and beaches to go explore. So if you like to go out there and just grab some seafood, find some agates on the beach, find some shells, go fishing, Albany's not that far away from these things. We've got those coastal range mountains to the west, and also we've got the Cascades to the east. So if you're looking to get into some hiking, biking, just getting out there to explore the nature, the mountains also aren't that far away. More in the Cascades, also towards the Bend area, you're going to have a lot more options for like skiing, snowboarding, things like that. Next up, we're going to discuss if Albany is a safe place to retire. Now, Albany does have kind of a relatively lower crime rate than the national average. And a lot of the stats I'm going to share real quick are from bestplaces.net. I use it a lot when gaining sort of the data that I'm going to share. And a lot of these figures are going to be ranked from 1 being low to 100 being high. When looking at the latest figures, Albany's violent crime rate is a 9.7, while the average for the entire US is a 22.7. Additionally, the property crime rate in Albany is a lot higher at 46, which is also higher than the national average of 35.4. Albany definitely isn't a crime-free city, but it is also relatively seen as a safer place to live. Now, property crime in Oregon does make up 88% of all crime in the state, And when looking at it compared to the US, it is 84%. So we are higher than the national average in that. So you can see a lot of what we're going to be seeing in town is really theft and kind of that property damage. And of course, certain areas can be a little bit worse than others, and that might definitely play a role in kind of where you're looking to live in town. And also just kind of the normal, just not leaving things out can definitely help with that. Next up, we're going to discuss, is Albany a healthy place to retire? We definitely live in an area that, depending on where you're going to be going, can have a fairly good active lifestyle. Going through town, we've got the Willamette River, and you can go ahead out there and go rafting, kayaking. There's certain areas that are definitely sketchy, and other places aren't that bad. Once spring starts, a lot of the local family farms are going to be getting out their stands, so you're going to have a lot of options in the surrounding areas for produce. We've also in town got the Saturday market, so if you go down there, it's kind of by the courthouse. You're going to have a ton of options there to just go hang out and look at everyone brings. We've got in town the Samaritan Albany General Hospital, as well as in North Albany. We've got other Samaritan health buildings. So Albany is capable of kind of taking care of some of the lesser serious as well as serious things going on. But for a lot of things also, people will just go ahead and make the trip over to Corvallis at their hospital, or just go ahead and head up to Salem Hospital. For some overall health, the city definitely maintains some different little paths, sports fields. They go ahead and maintain Bryant Park. The Periwinkle bike path also is pretty popular in town to get around in. We're also going to have the pool and other activities. The Riverfront Community Center also is going to have different things for seniors. You're going to have different wellness programs. You're going to have things for fitness, social, and educational classes. And in our part of the Mid-Willamette, we really do have actually pretty clean air. And Albany has a air quality index of 43 to 44, with the US average being 58. And the healthcare costs do hover around 82.6% of the national average. So generally, healthcare for seniors is a bit more affordable in Albany. If you're really into like certain healthy foods and wellness needs, it's going to be a bit higher over in the Corvallis area. They definitely overall just kind of have more of a more health conscious marketplace with a lot more different businesses being focused on that. It's definitely a little bit of a difference that you can kind of see in town as far as what is openly available to the public. I know some people that will just go ahead if they want like, natural grocers, pretty specific kind of co-op things. They'll just go ahead, head over to Corvallis and shop for that. Come on back. Next thing we're talking about is Albany easy on the eyes. So is it a pretty place to retire? And Albany pretty much is smack dab in the middle of those two mountain ranges with the Pacific kind of coastline to the west and those Cascades to the east talked about earlier. Right around Albany, we definitely have more fields and it's pretty flat. Some people like it, some don't, but driving out there, twilight hour, everything around us looks really nice. Those mountains being about half an hour away, both sides, you can get a really good views of the mountains with sunrises and sunsets. If you do appreciate the outdoors and the beauty that goes along with it, then definitely Albany has something to offer you on that. Certain parts of town do have some older trees, give it a little more shade and stuff, but predominantly a lot of town doesn't really have a lot of kind of older growth or a lot of trees that are kind of going to give you shade. So a lot of people will kind of try to go to more North Albany area if you're looking for more of that kind of like a forest theme. The downtown area has been greatly upgraded than the way it was years ago, so it actually is nice to actually go down there and walk around now. The downtown waterfront area, that park has been completely redone. It's got the beautiful amphitheater. It's also got a nice park for kids. It's got a splash pad. You can also have really nice little areas where you can walk along the riverfront, and it also has areas where you can walk over to little piers, take a look at the Willamette. That's definitely something people like the most, is kind of traveling along the waterfront and just taking a look at the river and everything. Certain points of the year, you're going to have some really good fall foliage. Now we're going to discuss what the weather is like in Albany. And in Albany, we definitely have all 4 seasons. We have temperate-like conditions, and we don't really get those big extremes. We get pretty mild temperatures in the spring and summers. We might get some days in the hundreds, but usually we will get a highs in the 90s. Most time we're sitting in the 80s with kind of night times being in the 50s. As far as winters go, we do get nights in the teens, but it also doesn't happen that often. Now, 2 of the last 3 winters have definitely kind of been more abnormal. Haven't been, that great. But, 99% of the time, it's just going to be rain. Those 2 years, we had ice storms. And we get something like that, the city definitely kind of just shuts down, you know, big thick layer of ice. We're just not equipped to kind of handle those kind of things. We don't really get snow all that often. When we do, it might be like an inch or two, and it won't be all that long until it's gone. When we do get more snow than that, you know, things also kind of like the ice, things tend to shut down. We're not really equipped for it. We don't get it that often, so we just don't have the equipment and things. People will kind of just hang out at home. And there's definitely a lot more snow up in the mountains. A lot of people will head over to Mary's Peak. You're going to have snow up there. Otherwise, you're going to be heading over east towards the Cascades. Out that direction, we're going to have a lot more of those resorts for things like skiing, snowboarding. So that area is going to be a lot more popular for that. In Oregon, our average inches per rain every year is 43, which is also the same as Oregon's average. Now, surprisingly, that actually puts Oregon as 20th, which in the grand scheme of things, isn't that bad. Now, our average sunny days, we usually have 159 sunny days per year, whereas the US average is 205. And it kind of goes along with, you know, a lot of the time people will say Oregon's just kind of this like dark, wet place. We definitely don't get more, you know, we wish we got more sun. And the last thing we're going to talk about is, does Albany have good restaurants? And being in the Willamette Valley, like I said earlier, we definitely have wineries, so that's going to be very popular for people. We've also got those breweries we talked about. You're going to have some great food trucks in town now. We've got the barn in North Albany, as well as a place kind of by the highway now with food trucks. We've also got some other little parts in town that have, you know, food trucks, and that's becoming popular. You're also going to have some finer dining, as well as your regular just sit-in restaurants. Now, downtown's definitely, we're going to have more of a diverse spread of restaurant types. You're also going to have more of your like finer style restaurants down there. Downtown area has great bakeries. You're also going to have really good coffee shops, kind of a lot of everything down there. So it's a pretty good spread. Now, when you get out of downtown area, kind of more along Pacific Boulevard, 9th Street, and Highway 20, the kind of diversity kind of shrinks down and the restaurant types kind of get a little more specific. There's definitely a lot more of where your fast food's going to be. We've got a ton of Hispanic restaurants in town. You have some Asian food ones. You've also got, you know, your regular sit-down ones like Elmer's. You know, you're going to have that kind of stuff, but you're not going to have kind of the same spread that you have in downtown. Albany definitely has more of that like family dine-in restaurant kind of vibe than kind of that more upscale kind of bougie restaurant kind of vibe. And I think most of the time, as Albany goes, people definitely like that. I know in some of the message boards and things, people kind of say like, please, can we get something new? Because it kind of feels like we have kind of a lot of one type of restaurant in town. But over the last couple of years, I've definitely seen a lot more types of variety coming in. We have some newer kind of shop areas, even in the Pacific Boulevard area. So I'm pretty hopeful it's going to get better. We're just going to kind of increase getting this variety. And that's it. When you consider a lot of our nearby beauty, our outdoor lifestyle, amenities, and a lot of our eateries, Albany can definitely check off a lot of your boxes. I hope you found this video being helpful for you, seeing if Albany might be the right town for you to retire in. If you got any kind of question about Albany and all the surrounding areas, you can go ahead and give me a call, leave me a text, email me. I'm going to leave my information in the description. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more future videos on Albany and all the surrounding areas. Again, I'm Tyler Thomas with eXp Realty. I'd be glad to be a local resource for all real estate needs.